I said, come, say we build a nation together. Yeah, we build a nation together. I said, come, say we build a nation together. We build a nation. Come, then we build a nation together.
Come together, 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 together.
I say, come, say we build a nation together. We build a nation together. Come, then we build a nation together.
Come. I say, come. Let we build a nation together. This is our home. As a result, we must do everything possible to improve it, to make it better. If you have a house, you're constantly trying to improve it. You clean it often. You may do some extension, some expansion. You may build some downstairs. You may add on a room. You may concrete the yard, or you may choose to upgrade something in that house. You may change the fridge from time to time. You may change the TV. You may add a new one. You may change the bed. In other words, you're constantly trying to make it better. You may change the curtains. You may change the tiles, the cupboards. You're constantly trying to improve it, because if you don't maintain, if you don't make some changes over time, it will depreciate in value, and also the whole aesthetics and the feel, the everything in there, that would change. It would diminish, more or less, right? It would fall apart on you over time. And it's the same thing for Grenada. We have to keep building. We have to keep transforming. We have to develop our country. We have seen over the many years what lack of maintenance did to a lot of government facilities, government buildings, and so on, because there were no maintenance. You look at the stadium, for example, no maintenance. So every 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, we have to call the Chinese to come back and change this and change that and spend millions of dollars, right, to do all these repairs. But if you have a maintenance crew to maintain, you see certain buildings, clinics, medical stations, right, post office or post offices, you see schools, community centers, playing fields, hard courts or basketball courts and so on. They are not maintained over the many, many years. So the government now is repairing them, reconditioning them, fixing it, renovating it. But you need to have a maintenance crew so that the painting can be done or the trowelling can be done and you can power wash it or something, right? So the flowers could be planted, the grass could be properly, cut. If there's a lighting issue, that person is a kind of all-rounder. You could paint, you could fix a light, you could fix a broken pipe, you could fix some leakage in the roof, you can, do some kind of work like that. You need a team of men and women to maintain those facilities. And in the medium to long term, government will save, because every time you have to come and do it from scratch, spend millions of dollars to fix those things. So I am saying it is so important for us to build this country. And in building and transforming, we need to put certain things in place. You see, a maintenance crew in every constituency in different areas. That's key, not just to maintain the roads, to cut the bush on the side of the roads, or to do the asphalt paving and so on. Not just that, because, NNP dismantle public works, meaning the whole maintenance of roads. You had people who were working full time in each constituency or each area. So, they kind of zone out the area. So if you see a hole emerge on the road, they would fix it. They would not wait for months and months and months and then have to go and do some complete thing. The NNP dismantled that because it was government doing those things. Then they start giving contracts to their friends and colleagues. That's the NNP administration. Contracts. And a lot of people became rich. But when you look at the work, substandard in many instances or many areas, and you have to wait long, long, long before they can attend to certain things. That shouldn't be. You should have maintenance crew at different points doing certain things. So don't tell me that you're going to build a brand new school or renovate a medical station and not have somebody to maintain it. Because not every time there's a broken pipe, you should have to contract somebody to come and fix it. That person should be an all-rounder, able to fix a pipe, able to do some basic electrical, stuff, able to do a little painting, able to change a little galvanize, and if there's a leakage, able to do some masonry, able to do some carpentry, that kind of thing. You need to have people who are trained as all-rounders, and you can then have them in maintenance, paid properly, of course, at different points. So we can keep things going, because the NNP left nearly everything to run down, to run down. So when I speak about building, when I speak about transforming, when I speak about developing Grenada, Carriacou, Petit-Martinique, I am talking about ushering a new style of governance. And we are seeing it now, where they're fixing those things. You go into communities where the basketball courts and the tennis courts, they were abandoned. The fencing mash up because the NNP allowed people to go there and party and jam and wine. And I know of some communities where you have that. The hard courts, they were used for jam and wine. So when people jam in, they would bust up the fence, they would mash up the thing. It was not built for that. But they use it for that purpose, and over time, everything just started to fall apart. Nobody's repairing it. Nobody's fixing it because you don't have a maintenance crew. You don't have somebody who could maintain and keep the thing going. If you see a little problem, you fix it before it becomes a bigger one, right? So you go into communities now, and the government, the NDC administration, they are fixing the courts. They are painting it. They are fencing it. They put in the nets back. They put in lights. So many of the courts, they are lit in the night, which is great. The playing fields, some of the playing fields were not even usable when it comes to football and certain things, track and field and so on, because the top surface is so stony and so hard and so not well kept. So the NDC, in some instances, they have to go and do a total, resurfacing, getting soil and put in there. And, in some areas when rain falls, it's soggy. And just like Vendom, they're doing a marvelous job there to fix the problem, to arrest the problem, and to make it usable for the community. And then they would, light and put lights, and even the community center there, they're looking to renovate it. And you're going to other communities and they're doing a similar thing. So you have community centers being renovated. You have basketball courts being renovated and upgraded. You have medical stations being renovated and upgraded. You have schools being repaired renovated and upgraded. And in some instances, new schools are being constructed, which is great. So the infrastructure within the community will be user friendly, right? It would be good for the community, the growth of the community. So you can go and have your meetings in the community center in a proper environment. You can go exercise on the playing field. You could take your sweat on the court, night or day. If you're not too well, instead of going to the general hospital, you can go to the clinic. You see, because government is now focusing on building the capacity within the community. And that's very important. Very, very important. So I am saying the transformation is taking place. It is happening. Roads are being fixed. People's homes are being fixed. When you go deeper into the community, people are getting bathroom and toilets, indoor bathroom and toilets. People are getting internet, training, and a device and training to use that device. Households are getting that, right? So it's a good thing. It's a great thing to see that our communities are being transformed. Everything cannot happen one time. Every community cannot be transformed one time. Transformation is a process. It takes time. And if you don't have patience, you will not see your way. In other words, you will always be stressed out. You have to have some level of patience because NDC is there for 5 years. They cannot fix everything in 23 months. If you believe that they can do that, then the NNP should have fixed everything. How many times? A lot of times. Because they were there for 23 years. So do not fool yourself. This government is working diligently to better the living standard and conditions of our people. And they're doing so with a plan. They're not whooping. Because you can see clearly, step by step by step, they are getting there. If you look at the programs, if you look at the initiatives of this government, you could realize clearly that they want to make your life better. They want to make your community better. They want to make Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique better. It is very, very clear. You don't need to be a genius to understand that. Just understand, you have a community, look at your community. I am not saying everywhere will get all the attention that it needs. I'm not saying that. But I am saying they are working. You go on Grandlands Beach, you see they put up lights in certain hot spots, right, to protect you. You're on the side of the road, there are certain places that are pretty dark. You're putting solar lights in those places now. Your bus sheds, they have lights. So things are happening for all people. But folks, let me feature a piece with the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. They've started at Calivini Road, and I think it is important to give you a little update on it. So he spoke while visiting the workers and the people who live in that area.
Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, visited the site of the $16 million Cliff to Woodlands roundabout project on Tuesday, accompanied by the road project team and the Ministry of Infrastructure officials. The project is being undertaken by Consolidated Contractors Company Caribbean Incorporated and is scheduled to be completed in 14 months, promising enhanced connectivity and improved transportation efficiency. During the visit, Prime Minister Mitchell engaged in discussions with both the project team and the contractor on site. GIS spoke with Prime Minister Mitchell, who is optimistic about the successful completion of the project.
I'm happy that we finally gotten the work to commence and to get off the ground. The works, from what I can see, is progressing well. We only started about a week ago, and you can see that there's significant excavation activities that are taking place. The key thing, this is a challenging site. As you can see, you basically have precipice on one side, rock on the other side, and you've got homes that are constructed very close almost in the roadway. So it is a site that is going to require significant engineering skill. It's going to require cooperation by the residents of the community, and I want to take the opportunity to thank the residents for cooperating thus far. We appreciate that it's an inconvenience to them because the road is blocked off, and you can see why we have to block the entire road off because of the type of excavation and the type of equipment that's there, and public safety is our #1 priority. So I wanted to walk and just get a first-hand view of what is taking place, to greet some of the residents who are home during this time and to speak to them about the project. As I indicated, because of the difficulty of the terrain, some of their properties will be affected, and so we want to be able to make sure that we keep them in the loop. We work with them to minimize the disruption and to try and get the work done as quickly as possible.
Prime Minister Mitchell hinted at additional features to be incorporated into the Woodlands roundabout and the cliff.
There are two things I want to point out. We will essentially be remodeling the Woodlands roundabout, and we'll be creating a roundabout at the top of the cliff Woburn Junction. So this is major work. As you appreciate, we have a major coming together of roads at the cliff. You've got Woburn, you've got a side road next to Woburn, you've got Manjalu, you've got the Calavini Main Road, and obviously here we have this Woodlands Road. So it is major construction work, but we need to do so because, as you can see, there's a lot of development going on up the East Coast all the way up to St. Patrick. We have a lot of 40, 20-foot containers that are on the road, and we need to make sure that we make the road as wide as possible.
Raul Gonzalez, project manager of the Consolidated Contractors Company Caribbean Incorporated, provided insights into the project's current status, highlighting the earthwork phase as a pivotal stage in the construction process.
So far, we start with the earthwork along the project. We have 3 major points to develop a big earthwork. This is the first one. The second one is by the next curb, and the third one is by the roundabout. So we are actually hitting 2 of those 3 major points with the earthwork. And then, yes, as you said, Nawaz and Grand Lake are involved too, because many poles must be relocated, and then a water line too. Nawaz already removed all that side of water line. That is why we can walk in that side now. So actually, it's the work what we are carry out, yes.
After the earthwork is completed, the construction of the retaining wall will begin.
We have to make a new option to build the retaining walls. We have to include the safety barrier first before the wall construction. So the wall construction is the next steps after the earthwork. So very soon we will start with the retaining walls.
Project manager Gonzalez affirmed their commitment to delivering a road design that prioritizes durability and longevity, ensuring the infrastructure's resilience for years to come.
The design, including the new pavement structure. I mean, we have to replace the sub-base, we have to replace the base, and then we will provide a new drain system to that side, and we make sure that the slope of the road and all the water be collected with that new system. Then in the right-hand side, we have to provide a lot of retaining wall, concrete reinforced, to help the stabilization of the road and then to save all the houses we have at the place.
Right. So you heard it there, an update on the Calavini Road project. I think it's about $16 million is the cost of the project. And men are at work. And you know what I love the most is the fact that our beloved Prime Minister is so caring and so understanding that he went there personally to speak to the workers, but also the residents of that particular area. He noted that they will be affected because of the extent of the construction and the work that is being done. And he's there to engage them, to listen to them also, because it is a very important project. But I just love the way that, he's on the ground. In fact, I was saying yesterday, every funeral I go to in St. David, So, like for example, yesterday I went to the funeral of Jeffina John, this young lady. And every funeral I go to in St. David, as long as the Prime Minister is here, I would bounce him up. And that is what politicians should do, to be there consoling, supporting their constituents, right? And that is something that must be encouraged throughout. There are MPs who do it, who are always there. Once they're on island, they'll go to sometimes you have 4 and 5 funerals. You can't go to all. You might just choose 2. You might send a writ or you might send a card, a sympathy card to the other families. But it is so, so important to be there. And I have noticed that nearly every time, right? We always lucky to bounce up in funerals. But I am simply saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing. There are events and activities. If I go to St. David, I would see him. He will be there with the people. And look, it's a different style of leadership. It's one rooted in the people. And it's noticeable. It is noticeable. And it's something that must be talked about. The caring nature of our Prime Minister. He's reaching out, he's caring, he's loving, and he is accessible. Everybody loves to, shake his hands, hug, embrace, speak to him. He'll take time to listen. And that is so, so, so important. And we have to recognize that. That's a gift. It's a gift that he has, right? He's just grounded. That is what we wanted over the many, many years, because there was a big barrier. People saw Keith Mitchell, for example, as this big, bad wolf you couldn't get close to, or if you attempted to get close to him, you have men with big guns, those SSU men with big guns. You see, a big, big wall was constructed between the people and him. So people more or less feared him, Keith Mitchell. And you had to go and see him in some office in Boucherjou, right? And if he goes to a funeral, you see all these SSU men with big guns all around the place. Not the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, because he's loved by the people. It's different, totally different. But again, I want to applaud him. I want to commend him. I am very observant. People may underestimate my ability to observe certain things, record certain things, and he's doing a very good job, a fantastic job, an excellent job in representing his constituency and Grenada as a whole. He cares about people. And I think we need to start making slogans. Deacon cares about people. Our Prime Minister cares about people. That's so important. The NDC cares about the people, and we are seeing it. The Honorable Andy Williams, people are showering praises on him because he's proactive and he's reactive too, right? He responds to certain things quickly. Let's move on. I want to take the opportunity to commend the Honorable Ron Redhead and his mobilization skills with the fire department of the RGPF and NADMA and the volunteers. That one is important. The volunteers of the Northeast, right? The volunteers of the Northeast coming together, people coming together to volunteer, to extinguish the fire, to control, to get the fire under control, because it's a severe dry season and there are people among us who would smoke, and before they out, as we would say, the cigarette, they would throw the cigarette boot or whatever at certain places. And there's a little light on it. And boy, once that hit the ground, it's like gas, right? It connects with gas, the dry leaves and so on and so forth, the bamboo stool and that kind of thing. and it's real problems. There was a major fire in Montparnasse. I think Moncuma, there was a fire there too, couple places in the northeast. And the men and women came out and volunteered with the mobilization and organization on the part of the Honorable Ron Redhead. You see, some people don't understand. When you're young, you have nothing really to lose. You're going all in. And you have a young team of men and women who are going all in and all out to serve their constituents. You could say what you want about the Honorable Ron Redhead. He's a damn good representative, and he's doing an excellent job in the Northeast. Yes, jealousy will continue. Yes, we know the guy he bit badly, right? I mean, Ron is a young fella, and for a young man to beat this guy, what is his name? What is his name? The Nimrod boy there, Nimrod Oliveira, what do you call him? Nimrod Oliveira, yeah. Yeah, the guy that he gets a good cut skin, a good cut tail, you know, for a little man to beat you so. But anyways, we know Nimrod, he still has his money and so on, and he's still around the constituency, you know, playing cock and pole. But really and truly, Ron is doing a fantastic job. Give him that. A fantastic job. It's a big constituency, but he is there for his constituents. And that is why I would always come to his defense when people talk and run them out. In fact, the NNP have a scandal now there that Ron got an offer by, you know, our beloved Prime Minister, and they quoting a figure that he received. In fact, I downloaded the video. I will share it with Ron and encourage him to sue Francis Pay. What's his name? This guy, this idiot on that station, some Real FM. I think he has a program there. He has this kind of bed plot and so on there. I would encourage him to take legal action there. You know, his name was called, the amount was called, and all these different things. You see, when you're on radio, you need to have a level of responsibility, right? If you don't know, don't say. And if someone calls in and they say something, do not repeat it, do not push it, right? Do not. So I would encourage him to advance legal action against that guy, because you have to put them to a stop. And the only how you do it sometimes is taking legal action. Because you don't go there slandering people. You don't go there slandering people. There are a lot of the folks on air. They're the opposition forces. They do podcasting, they're on talk shows and so on, but they don't know how to handle certain things. They would just go there and see things as though it's fact. And it can destroy people. You know, you slander people, it can destroy their career, it can destroy everything. So I would encourage Ron to advance legal action against this guy, because I know it's false. What he's claiming is false. I know that for a fact. It is false. The figure, the amount, the this, the that. Look, Ron is no longer minister of government, but he's an MP. So he gets an MP salary of $5,000. And if he's getting assistance, otherwise, it's not from government. So the party could assist him, but not from government. He collects only $5,000 from the government of Grenada, just like any other MP, member of parliament. That is what he collects. In the process, he's also doing his master's degree, right? Which is a great thing, a wonderful thing. And he continues to be the member of parliament for St. George North East, and his government is in power. His party is in power. So he has access to a number of things to bring assistance to his people, to fix roads, bridges, drains, homes, you know. and so on, because his government is in power. This thing is basic. If he was an MP in opposition, then he would not have access to government resources like this. No. So it's kind of common sense. And he doesn't have to go into a classroom to pursue his master's degree. It's online. So he has ample time to do so. He has assignments. He has scheduled time to hand in certain stuff. People who study online, they would know. You have deadlines and you meet those deadlines. You do the work and you submit, right? You have about what? A master's degree program, 1 year, 2 years, many a times 2 years to complete. Once it's online, it's somewhat like that, many a times. Could be a 1 year program when you go in, right? But generally, it's a 2 year program. But I am saying he has ample time and he's doing a fantastic job in representing his people, in being there, in working hard to get stuff done. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that there are some people out there who are quick to criticize, who are quick to attack. But when someone is doing something good, acknowledge it. Encourage them. Applaud them. The Honorable Ron Redhead is doing a fantastic job. A very, very good job. And so are the other MPs. They are trying their best. And I'm noticing what is happening. Don't fool yourself. The Honorable Claudette Joseph, she's doing a lot of work in the tongue of St. George. She's trying her best, which is great. In fact, I saw her at a funeral yesterday because Jeffina used to live on St. John Street, around Four Roads area there. All right? St. John Street, I think, yes. Is it St. John Street or one of those streets? Grenville Street. Grenville Street. Yes, Grenville Street. All right? Close to Williamson Road on that side there. So I am simply saying we need to encourage them. I see the Honorable Gloria Thomas, the Honorable Delma Thomas. They're doing a lot of work in their constituency. All right? And they have to keep it going. What I will suggest, and I have always done so, just get a young person, hire a young person to work in some area within your constituency, because you can do that. And that young person must also have as either a hobby or a skill set the ability to take photos, to take videos, to upload photos, to upload videos, to more or less manage your Facebook page or your Instagram page. So it's somebody that you can trust and somebody who is tech savvy. So as you go through the constituency, you see, Ron, for example, he has a good person with him capturing the moment, right? The Honorable Andy Williams, for example, he has a good person with him capturing the moment. The most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, he has a number of people with him who are capturing the moment. The Honorable Tevin Andrews, he has a person with him who is capturing the moment. And I've always encouraged that for all the constituencies where we have government MPs and so on. You need to have a young person. Maybe that person is assigned to a ministry. Maybe that person is assigned to the constituency office. Maybe that person is assigned to, something there. I'm saying it is important to have a young person with you because politics is perception. If somebody sees somebody giving out a gas stove, they will believe that you're giving out gas stoves throughout your constituency. If somebody sees somebody giving out a hamper, they would believe that you're giving out a hamper throughout your constituency or hampers throughout your constituency. If somebody sees a piece of road being fixed, they will believe that you're fixing roads throughout your constituency. Politics is perception. How do you create that perception? It's by getting the stuff out there. It's common sense. You don't need to be a genius to understand that. So it's so important. So important that you get people out there who can capture the moment, the photos, the videos, who can do a story out of it, who can upload a short TikTok or reel, short videos. Doesn't have to be long. Short videos, capturing the moment, because there are people in the diaspora who are from your constituency and they're looking. How do they get to know that you're working and you're doing things in your constituency or in their constituency? By seeing. For example, the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, he's doing a marvelous work in his constituency, and it's been captured. It's been captured. And that's a name that I forgot when I was mentioning earlier. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job with the team that he has. Right? So I am saying you have to understand politics in 2024. It is no longer somebody in that village alone sitting there and seeing you doing something. You have to display it, you have to upload it, you have to show it, you have to share it, you have to make people know online. Because the greater influencers are online. Because the folks overseas, once they are pleased with your performance, the people locally will be too. Because they have influence over the local people. Don't underestimate that. And while I am on that, I want to commend the folks in the diaspora. You continue to register. You continue when you come home. Only yesterday, about eight persons called me saying, Kem, they got registered. So the registration process is continuous. So as you come, I want to encourage you, please register. All you need is a birth certificate. All you need is a birth certificate or a Grenadian passport. You go into the electoral office where you're from in that constituency and you register. That's all. So once you come to Grenada for a funeral, once you come to Grenada for a wedding, once you come to Grenada for carnival, once you come to Grenada for Maroon and String Band Festival in Carriacou, once you come to Grenada for Regatta in Petit Martinique, once you come to Grenada for Christmas, once you come to Grenada for Independence, once you come to Grenada for any event whatsoever, Reggae Fest, just name it, make it your duty to register. Because I told you before, you will be very, very important come the next election. All right? So far, so good. And people are continuing to register. Right? It's a continuous process. So I want to encourage you, please, the folks in the diaspora, if you want to see this transformation agenda continue, you have to register. And I told you it's a pet project that I have, and it's my hope to be in New York for Grenada Day. And again, it's an opportunity for me to engage the people. And for Labor Day. All right? For Labor Day. So I'll be in New York for a lengthy period of time there. I think it's about 2 to 3 weeks. I will be in New York and in Miami, hopefully in Miami too, within that period of time to engage the diaspora, to encourage them to play their part in keeping the transformation agenda alive and well for a very long time. Because I am thinking medium to long term. All right? And then it's my intention to go to Canada, as I indicated. And then my intention is to go to the United Kingdom. Right? So it's so important that we reach out and we connect with our people, encouraging them encouraging them to register, encouraging them to play a part in the developmental process, in the transformation of the country, in the transformation of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. That's so, so important. And you have a role to play. Don't be perturbed or worried at all about NNP and their rubbish, right? When they talk, just laugh because the laws are very clear. And I want to challenge some of these people who consider themselves, verse in the Constitution and verse in the laws of Grenada. I want to challenge you. I see this guy, I call him Jojo. He's some grandeur in Mount Pleasant, right? Sister Peggy, son, right? I see he writes regularly and it's published in the New Today newspaper. I mean, his writing does not wow me or impress me. He writes at length. I think he goes by the name Joseph Roberts, right? And I mean, his writing is so lengthy that by the time you finish reading it, you fall asleep as though he's writing a book. It's just terrible. But I laugh. I laugh because I don't know where these guys get this idea from, where they think, and that's just my belief, they believe that they are more Grenadian than the people who born in Grenada, right? But went to the United States, went to Canada, went to the United Kingdom for greener pastures, to build a home, to take care of their family, to invest in their country and so on. I don't know where they get this idea. They get this idea that they are more Grenadian than the people who are living in the diaspora. You're not. You're not more Grenadian than our brothers and sisters who are living in the diaspora. And our brothers and sisters who are living in the diaspora, right, who resides in the diaspora, who comes home and they have a home here, they reside here too, they come here, right, they reside here too, sorry. They come here, they build, they invest, they do stuff, they send remittances. $208 million was sent back home last year alone. 208 million, from the diaspora back home to our brothers and sisters here. So who tell these people that they are more Grenadian than, the folks in the diaspora? The Joseph Roberts, well, I call him Jojo, and the others. And I know it's a clique of them, the Cassandra Mitchell, right? The others, the whole clique. They consider themselves to be constitution gurus. Who are you to give the impression that you are more Grenadian than the folks out there? And I challenge you, because you're publishing stuff, but the law that governs election in this country is the representation of the People's Act. That is the law. That is the law. You could have all kind of, thing to say, but that's the law that governs the electoral process in the country. That's the law. So yes, you have a constitution, but you have a lot of laws that came out of the constitution over many, many years, right? So to come and talk about domicile and residency and all kind of nonsense, the law is very, very clear. The law says once you are a citizen of Grenada, you are entitled. You have a right. It's not a gift somebody's giving you, right? It's not well, you are beg for it. You have a right to vote. You have a right to register, and there are requirements. So they tell you, this is what will qualify you to get registered. But once your name is on the voters list on election day, no one could stop you from voting. You're a Grenadian citizen. You got registered. If you're a Commonwealth citizen, you have to be here for about a year before you can get registered. if you're a Commonwealth citizen, but you're first and foremost a Grenadian citizen, born and bred here. If you go to Dominica, you're considered to be a Commonwealth citizen, but you're not first and foremost a Commonwealth citizen. This thing is basic. You don't need to be a genius, right? It is clear. So once you're a citizen of Grenada, don't matter you go to United States, you go to Canada, you're a citizen of Grenada. You have a right to register and you have a right to vote. They cannot stop you. So don't worry with them. Because the diaspora is no longer on their side, they want to find, I'm talking about the NNP now, they want to find all kinds of reasons to make people believe that they can't this and they can't that. Utter rubbish. And I want to encourage my people, my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, please, when you come back home, make it a date. And we are here to help you. We are here to help you. Make it a date and get registered. That is so, so important. When you register, you have a chance to vote when that time comes. It is so, so important. All right? Nice. All right. Nice. Somebody just sent me a message here. Great. So there are a number of things I have to promote and think about. Don't worry. Don't hold your head. All right? Don't hold your head. I know I have a number of things to promote here with the party and so on. A number of things happening soon time. But don't worry. I am saying also, I go talk about Bud Braffett and the NNP. Don't worry. Lydia, I know you're my producer, like, I know all you realize what's going on. I know. In the NNP, once you open your mouth and you talk, the big bad bully going to call a meeting and try to kick you out within the NNP. So I know that. Remember, I experienced that. I was the youngest executive member of the NNP, When I stood up to the big bad bully, we had a nasty time, And you know me. Anytime you see him, ask him. A nasty time. And the minute time you stand up to the big bad bully, they would expel you. They're going to get rid of you from the party. That's how it's done. So, but Braffett, look, I know. I expected that. And that is why when I spoke yesterday, I was asking if Anthony Boswin is still a member of the NNP. Because if he is a member of the NNP, he will suffer the same fate. The same fate he will suffer. He cannot come out and talk about the big bad bully. He can't come openly and do that. They're going to knock him out. Anybody who does that, that's how they operate. That's how they operate. They call a meeting, and because he's still the big bad bully, the old Kribo still has control over that party. That old Kribo still has control over the party. The party is his and him alone, right? That's him. That's his party. The party is, he's the party and the party is his. Control the whole thing. And that is how it goes with this organization. It's sad, but that's the reality. So that old Kribo, once you come out and you speak up against him, you know what would happen to you. But we'll deal with that. Don't worry. We'll deal with that in the next segment. We'll deal with that, that is what you can expect. The minute time you stand up and you talk about the old Kribo, that is what would happen to you. Folks, don't forget I have the tickets, Still have the tickets. Tickets are the 10th anniversary, right? I have tickets still for the 10th anniversary, 10 years in the radio, podcasting, talk show, and so on. That's a lot of years. And we're going down to the Trade Center. The ticket's 50 EC. 50 EC for the ticket, 50 EC. So don't forget that. I still have the tickets. And looking forward to you buying a couple tickets up between now and then. All right? So on the 15th would be 10 years since I have been on. But on the 31st, Friday the 31st of May, we're going to celebrate at the Trade Center. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time down there at the Trade Center. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. I want to encourage you to stay focused. Stay focused. Let us continue to defend our party. Let us continue to promote our party, and don't be afraid. Let's do so consistently. And to the folks who are not coming, who will not be able to come to my event, you can just buy a couple of tickets as a form of appreciation. WhatsApp me the same number that is scrolling under the live video. That's my WhatsApp number, 415-4817, 415-4817. Or you could call me up, right? You could just buy a couple tickets, like a number of people are doing. Buy a couple tickets as a form of appreciation, all right? Even if you can't come, you can't make it. But if you could make it, buy tickets and come. But if you can't, so be it. At the end of the day, buy a couple tickets. I have quite a bit of the tickets here. It's not going that fast, but I know it's kind of last minute. Grenadians like to purchase the tickets and so on kind of last minute. So I'm not really worried at all. Just encouraging you to do so. So I have the tickets, WhatsApp me, link me up, and you can get them. 50 EC for one. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight. There's no funeral tonight. Today, sorry, for me. So I'll be on tonight. Yeah. Yes. Take good care and bye for now.